All right. Well, thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Francisco Esteves. I'm the founder of Efficacious. We are a consulting firm based in Los Angeles. We also have an office, a development center in Mexico City as well. We do configuration customizations, but basically what we do is we transform our customers. We consider that this is a very good time for companies to perform these digital transformation exercises. In fact, we have seen after many years of consulting that many companies can be really powerful. They don't need to be big, they don't need to have a lot of investments, a lot of complicated software, etc. The only thing they need is to be really accurate in what they do. That's why we use the hummingbird as our mascot. We think that this represents the agility and the efficiency and the specific proficiency or precision, that's the word I'm looking for, the precision that you can find when you operate with the right strategy and you're using the right solution. Let me start talking about my the challenge that I face with this customer. This is a client who was focused on manufacturing of food and tortillas, potato chips, and bread. They were supplying products, consumer goods, to places like Walmart, 7-Eleven in North America, other convenience stores, but they have certain issues, and these issues are not new for us. We see this very commonly on the industry. The issues that they were facing is that they were operating for several years, which is good, which is great. But the challenge that they were facing is that they started implementing one solution, maybe an accounting system, a system that was allowing them to operate a certain part of the business. But as they were growing, they started to acquire a different solution here and there. And then after several years, they realized that they have a lot of separated systems. Systems that were not integrated, and systems that require, as in many cases, and we see this very commonly in North America, you need to take the information from system A and put it on system B. In certain cases, you can do that using some system integration capabilities or some solutions like that, but we see that it's extremely common to find out that many companies, regardless of their size, they just download to Excel or a similar spreadsheet, and they move this information to the second system, upload the information, and they continue doing the business. This is okay, in a way. They can perform everyday activities, but the challenges they face is that this is extremely manual. And for example, this customer, they were producing approximately 5,000 pieces of bread every day. And in certain cases, this the output of the production was documented in manual papers. They couldn't have the chance to automate the manufacturing site. So a lot of information was captured in documents. They were capturing things like expiration time, for traceability. They were capturing things like lot number, and several stuff like that, which is good because they can have access to that information, and but they cannot do anything with that data. If somebody asks, like, can we confirm the expiration time or this specific lot number for a month ago or last year, that was extremely complicated. Another thing that they were facing is that they were documenting as much as they could, but the way that they were taking that information and putting it in a system that they can rely on was very manual and sometimes was getting behind. What I mean with this is that sometimes they were able to capture information for the entire week, but just a week later. So if you want to know about how the business is going on today, you may have a picture of what was like a week ago, or even worse, a month ago. So that was very painful for them, and we think that this is something where the good technology can help this company and many others. Because what we see commonly in the industry is that many companies are afraid of changing their solutions and to move this to something different. But what we can tell, and you will see this from today, is that with Odoo, you can extract the information in an easy and organized way and put it in a system that you can start utilizing in few weeks, not even months. The other challenge that we face here with them is that they were relying a lot on the different staff experience, but more than relying, I would say that they were just hiding certain challenges. Challenges like if the material or the ingredients were not on time, or if they were changing something. It was so easy to update things in Excel files rather than having it in a robust system that can track the changes, the updates, etc., etc. So something that apparently seems like good and simple, like using spreadsheets, at the end of the day, it's a big snowball that can create many challenges for the operation. Why we recommend them to use Odoo in first place, and the answer was easy. The system comes with an end-to-end solution. We were able to talk about things like inventory, like customers, like orders, like accounting, like traceability, like laboratory tests. Many things are already out of the box in the system, and everything is included in your license. So this is very big news for any manufacturing company. The other thing is that the system can be customized greatly. You can do a lot of customizations in the system if you need to, but if you just use the system out-of-the-box version, you can do a lot with them. And it's extremely affordable, and everything is connected because it runs with the same database. What we covered with them was different use cases or scenarios. We talk about from manufacturer to order. This customer has different warehouses located in different areas, so they have to plan the manufacturing that they have to provide to those distribution centers that they were operating in different regions. We also have to think about the the receiving of orders to start planning the manufacturing, the manufacturing plan. Sorry, but what we also find out, and this is not an exception, in many cases when companies collect orders, customer orders or information from the market, they either do it manually with pen and paper, which is pretty complicated, or do it with a spreadsheet or with or type things on their phones. Moving that into a system is extremely complicated, and in many cases that creates errors and a lot of delays. So they were facing very severe challenges for automation and for managing the business. The general manager of the manufacturing facility was always asking us, "Hey, Francisco, is there a way that I can understand today what is the exactly amount of or the value of my inventory for raw material, for finished goods?" That was always his question, but he was not able to he was not able to get an answer quickly. The normal or the natural way for him was to wait at least 1 or 2 weeks to have these questions answered. But by the time he got a number, the number was from the past. That was something that was already happened. So it was very complicated to drive a manufacturing facility with these challenges. So we went ahead, we implemented Odoo, and it was not complicated. It was more like reviewing the challenges, understanding the processes, understanding the flows, the material flows, and also populating the specific tables or modules in Odoo. Some of the things that we were facing, and this is also common in the industry, is the change management. There were a lot of different associates that are accustomed to take the daily tasks, the daily operations. They write information either in their papers or in their spreadsheets, and then they have to report and create information at the end of the day, at the end of the week. So when we were trying to introduce Odoo in certain places, the question was like, I get it, Francisco, we have to do this, but at the same time, we have some orders to follow. Our supervisors, managers, et cetera, they expect to have those beautiful reports that they have already created in Excel or templates. So there was that fear of how am I going to let this go and make sure that the data is accurate without having the system validated or running. So it's complicated, I understand that, but what we were doing was to work severely and extremely frequently in terms of educating the people, showing them the value, showing them the controls, so that when we were just making progress, they were extremely happy to find out that, oh, so that means that I don't need to do this validation anymore, or, oh, I don't need to type this information here any longer. So those aha moments for the operators was huge for them. And it was something that we normally find out in the different projects that we work. So the recommendation is always focus on the change management thing. And also the other thing that we were experimenting challenges was on the precision that they wanted to find from the spreadsheet. So we said, okay, as long as we move your information to the system and you find out and confirm that every day and every week and every month, every number is correct, is identical, it matches, you should feel more comfortable. So the recommendation is always, when you use Odoo, take advantage that you can bring the information quickly, so you can set your points and start the conversations with your end users, with your customers. And if there are some differences, of course, you can discuss about that. So talking about the reports, I think this is the most powerful tool that we find in Odoo. I remember during my days as consultant with Deloitte, I used to extract information, put it also in spreadsheets or sometimes in other systems to showcase this is where we are and this is how we are doing. We are making progress, we are probably reducing costs, maybe we are just expediting certain orders, or we are reducing the issues with quality, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, we were trying to keep happy customers. That's the number one rule of every business. With Odoo, you don't need to do that. You don't need to dedicate time to figure out how to report that every day, every week, every month. The moment you start putting information in Odoo, you can have these beautiful charts. And I say beautiful because you don't need to dedicate more time. The information is there. It's just a matter of understanding how do you want to see, how do you want to visualize the information. The powerful thing that we see in Odoo is that you can customize this and say, maybe I need to have a summary here, or maybe less columns over there, or maybe a chart showcasing this and that. And you can see from this image that on the left side, you can have charts for sales, for CRM, for manufacturing, for finance, etc. Those come out of the box, and you can include many, many more. The results of the benefit that we completed here is that we eliminated all the paper very quickly. The elimination of paper is something that we see on every project that can be accomplished during the first month. Everybody is extremely happy to see that. And with that, you can have a lot of efficiency, you improve traceability, you have access to more information, and you can also start thinking about how can we improve our operation faster and faster and faster. So the moment you put the data, you have a lot of good opportunities to succeed here. So that's our biggest recommendation here. Many companies want to be data-driven, but in many cases is the same challenge, like, okay, let's extract from here, bring the data warehouse, create the reports, and you know the story. It's always a challenge. It's always a comparison of, yeah, but I have a different report. Yeah, but I have different sources. Yes, but my data was extracted yesterday, and the other one was extracted a few minutes ago, et cetera, et cetera. If everybody can see the same information at the same time, there's no question, there is no challenges, there's no finger pointing. Everybody knows what's going wrong, what is going well, and move forward. So the key takeaways that we got from this project is use Odoo. It's extremely affordable, and you can have a lot of flexibility, especially for manufacturing. You should designate also a champion. This is also very important. You should have somebody that can absorb most of the knowledge that you will be delivering with the ERP implementation, so that this champion can also take the lead once the project is completed, or probably have further discussions on additional things that any customer would like to see in the system. Load information early, as I mentioned, that's paramount in the system. Try to bring the information as quick as you can. It doesn't matter if in your old systems is not complete or is inaccurate or whatever. This is what it is. This is what you have in your system. So the moment you put it there, everybody realizes how well or how bad the situation is, and then start moving on to make it better. Invest on change management, as I mentioned, so everybody would be more educated, everybody will understand more about the concepts of an ERP. It's no longer an Excel file where you can go and change a number or apply a formula or pretend that everything is fine, even though you will see two different spreadsheets with certain mismatches or a lot of mismatches, but we noticed that in many cases the experience from the experts are covering those mistakes. Like, yeah, I would be able to do that, but I don't have the time. If you have everything in one ERP solution, there's no way that something has a value in one section. Let's say for manufacturing and finance has different descriptions of your products. Tracking the progress and measure the return of investment is also very good in Odoo. What we normally do, we use, because we also run efficacious with Odoo, we use the module that is dedicated for project management, so we can present the progress and every time that we achieve a milestone to our stakeholders, so they can feel more confident of what we have achieved, what are we doing, and what is pending to complete in the system. Finally, I think the dashboards, they are phenomenal. This is something that you don't see on every solution. In certain cases, I remember that I have been working with other big names for software, and the visualization is available, but you need to purchase that as an add-on. In Odoo, everything is in the same solution. You don't need to pay more for obtaining more. The only recommendation would be here is try to start also little by little. For manufacturing, we normally start with the inventory app where you can configure your products, your services, and then we move to manufacturing, and then we move to procurement, and also sales, and finally accounting. That's like a normal path that we have seen very effective in our implementations. So even though everything is available, depending on the customer that you are consulting, or if you're implementing this in your company, just follow a logical way, a logical flow of your information, and you will see it's not complicated at all. So this is what I have for today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'm open for questions right now.
I will wait for questions to be...
Okay. Okay, yep. So we are waiting for questions. If somebody has something to ask, if you have any recommendations, any idea, you're welcome.
There is one question, which is, in terms of production, what is the amount of product per day doing for your biggest clients?
The product per day for my biggest client. Well, it always depends, as we say as consultants. And I say this because normally most of our clients, they have different product lines. But we can say that the biggest amount is approximately, let's say that they were producing a bottle of something like, let's say, fragrances or colognes. We have worked with customers that produce 1,000 per day, 10,000 per day. That's normally something that they can manage. Remember that we are focusing also in medium-sized companies that normally run a manufacturing facility with 200 users. And as I said, 10,000 may not seem like a lot for many, but when you combine that with the different products from other product lines, you will see that sometimes it's a challenge.
What are the major challenges to change management and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, as I said, change management, the biggest challenge is to continue doing what they normally do. Things that they understand that produce good results, and also things that they know their supervisors wants to see. So what we have done from experience is, number one, we have a very good conversation with either the plant manager or the stakeholders together, and we ask them to start sending this message to everybody across the operations. Starting from today, what we're going to expect is to see the information in Odoo. We know we normally run using Excel files or other systems, but the information that is going to be valid for us is the information in Odoo. When you send that message, everybody works differently. Everybody understands that they need to put more effort understanding the tool. Everybody understands that they do not have to compare the current system or spreadsheets with the information in Odoo. So that brings a lot of benefit if the stakeholders or the plant manager or the general manager makes this message, and also they are informed on a weekly basis on the progress with this.
Okay, from the time you started working on Odoo, how long did it take for you to complete the transformation into a fully functional ERP? And was the timeline achieved as you wanted?
Yes, this is always a challenge. What we normally do, and this is something that we are implementing today, is we have a new program that we call Grip 90, which means we are offering our customers a 3-month implementation from Odoo. And basically what we are saying is that probably you don't need a consultant for the entire scope of the project. What we normally do is we take a pre-work of an assessment, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then with that we can create a roadmap of what do we need to do in 3 months time frame, which is something that is creating a lot of excitement with our customers, because with that we can focus on what is more important to implement today. If we focus either on your inventory or in your manufacturing planning or maybe in your procurement, we can come together and define what is exactly what we can put in 3 months. That doesn't mean that we stop at the end of the 3 months, but what we say is that at the end of the 3 months period, we should have another discussion. Either you feel comfortable to continue by yourself, which this is something really well, but everybody wants to just use the system and start implementing what they have, or you can continue working with us, but probably a little more relaxed with different priorities, etc. So what we are focusing right now is on the 3-month period, because to the question, we know that in most of the cases, at the end of month number 3, we have implemented normally 80% of the biggest functionality of the system.
Does your company have an experience to support R&D process? And if yes, what is the biggest challenge over there?
Yeah, the R&D, we have a customer today in Atlanta, in North America, that creates food supplements. They manufacture custom food supplements in North America for big company names that create supplements for gyms, for retailers, etc. So this is a bit of a challenge. We have Odoo implemented here in two different processes. We have one process for receiving the custom orders, preparing a specific formula, testing that formula, presenting that back to the customer, and validating if the customer is happy to say, this is a good ultra premium pineapple flavor supplement that I want to get, or maybe not, maybe I saw it, I tested, I don't like it, that's it. So if everything goes well and the customers, their customers like what they have created with their R&D development in normally 3 or weeks or a month, then the next step would be to create that final bomb and start creating this massively for the customer. But yeah, normally you have to separate that as two different processes in the same Odoo database.
And there is a last question, which is, how did you systemize human know-how and scale?
Systemize human know-how? There is also an app in Odoo for knowledge. This is something that we also recommend our users to use more frequently. In the past, I remember the days when we were developing also documentation for our users, and we realized that even though we were just delivering this large amount of binders with a lot of paper, nobody cared about those documents. So now we have this possibility in Odoo to have a specific module for documentation, and we encourage our users to take advantage of our draft documents that we put there, so they can start putting what they have learned, what they know works, what they know that they would like to have. So it's more a collaborative exercise that we do to transfer the knowledge, because they are creating their own documents.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you all.